of this scripting here, okay? So you could use as needed. And the more you practice, the better it gets. But you just have to realize what is happening and how you could use the scripting here, okay? So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna further go into a little bit more Boolean. Uh, let's see here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we have this if then else statement here, right? It's sometime it might get little um, too complicated. So what will happen is we could write a code in a such way that we could cut down on this amount of code we're gonna write here. Okay, so for that, what we're gonna use is Boolean expression here. So if you go back up here, so we're gonna use this or. If we have two pipes, this is a key about the enter key. Okay, we're gonna use or here. Okay, so if this is true or that is true or that is true, and do this. If that is not true, then do something else. Okay, so let's see how we're gonna work on that. Okay, so let me clear this, and I'm gonna do ls, and I'm gonna copy the content of if then and else statement here. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna type boolean .sh. Okay, so let me clear this and I'm gonna go vi boolean .sh. So let's see here. So it says here, right, if then else statement, or you could use copy of if then else statement. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna paste it in here. Why is it doing that? U. Excuse me. Okay, what am I doing here when I do this? What is happening when I do this?
You are adding, I think, to, where are you?
Yeah.
If then, okay. Yeah, you're, carrying
Yeah, you got
the
it.
statement into that Boolean that sh,
Yeah, I'm adding to it.
adding to it, yeah.
Yeah. So I will have like twice as much information down there. So now what I want to do is I want to see we have twice as much information here. So I'm gonna so this is gonna be uh, okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna comment this out, and then what I'm trying to do is I want you to see the difference here. Okay. So let's see. I'm gonna comment everything out. Okay. So now we have this much of code here, so let's see how we could cut this down here. Okay, so what it's using here is if then else is nothing but if this is true then do this, or if this is true do this. If this is true, it's what is the main keyword here? Or. Okay, main keyword here is or. Or means not and. And means both. 1 and 2 means you have to have both. Or means either one. So then means or, right? Keyword is or equals to if, I think, yeah. If true. If this is true, do this. If that is true, do that. Not both. So let's see here. Instead of doing this, okay, so you see read data, okay, and let's see here. Read data is equal 1, and then you do space double pipe, okay, and let's copy this here. Okay, space double pipe, and then copy 3 here. Okay, and space double pipe, copy 4 here. Okay, and what I'm gonna do here is double pipe Uh, uh, let's do this here. One. And I'll change this as a little bit different here. I'm going to say 1, 3, and 5. Yeah, go ahead. So what I'm going to do here is, let's remove all this here. So if 1, 3, 1, 3, and 5, then echo, you could put in, you entered odd number. Yeah, you got a question? Somebody? And else, okay, so now what it's doing here is we're just playing a similar game. You said instead of writing this much code here, you can have simplified this here. Over here, you are evaluating each and every statement. But if you have like a Boolean statement, you just have to find out if this is true or not. You just use this here. Okay, so we cut down on so much code here. So it's going to be a similar, let's see here. Yeah. Let me go and exit and then Boolean. So enter a number between 1 and 5. So I'm going to say 2 and say you entered even number. Okay, and if I entered 5, you say you entered odd number here. Okay, so it is not exactly the same thing, but it's similar here. So what you could see here is you could sometimes, if you're gonna just evaluate two different things rather than multiple things here, you could just use a Boolean statement here. Okay. All right, so we talk about the read command already, right? Okay, so let's see here. I think I talked about read command here, but I didn't put it in here officially. Alright, let me just put it in here officially. Read command. Okay, let's see what's the definition. Okay, yeah, I'm not worried about that. So let me quit this and clear this. So what is happening here? When you type read x, what is x becoming? X is a variable. When you hit enter, what is read command doing is it runs at the command line interface and it's waiting for the user input. Okay, read is the one you read it from the user. Okay, what you do is I'm going to type this is Linux course and I hit enter. When you hit enter, it will cancel it out. Now what is it doing here is it's preparing in the memory here. It's sitting in the memory. Okay, at this moment. So what I'm going to do is echo $x and hit enter. So whatever the value of x is, this is Linux course. And when you type echo means we are telling the system to repeat what is x, and when you hit enter, it will repeat echo it's repeating whatever the value you set if x is. Okay, it will stay in there in the memory forever until you restart the computer or you reassign read as something else. Okay, let me put this as officially. So this reads the line from command. How do I put this? Read accepts the CLI input or accepts the user input. Okay, it accepts the user input to variable. Okay, what is a variable in here? What we are looking at? X is a variable. Okay, x is a variable. All right, so wait, let me just put X here. And right now, at this moment, the input is the user input is sitting in memory. Okay. All right. And to recall the memory, recall from memory. Okay. Okay, good. Yeah. Go ahead. Somebody got a question? All right. Okay, and also the while loop what I'm gonna do is this part here, I'm gonna put it somewhere else here. Maybe I'll put it before I start the read command here. Bash. Okay, I'll put it here, okay? while loop. Okay. Mesh. So I'm gonna show you a little bit more stuff about while loop here, how the while loop works. Yesterday we saw vi while. So what it's doing here is, this is a while loop. It's based on counter. Echo, enter a number, read data. So reading a data, that's a user input, and it's got count equal 1 while dollar count is less than or equal to data. And do here, okay. So we'll see how we could use the while loop in a much more fashion, and from there we could work off of it. So let's see here. On the command prompt, how are you going to type the while loop? So you type the while loop running from command CLI, command line interface, okay. So what you do is while, then you type a command in there, and then do X, okay, and then you do semicolon, do like echo $X, okay, and I think you have to put in quotes here, this one, $X, semicolon, done. So it's the same thing here, do, while doing this, do done. You do this here, then while, this is where the while statement is starting here. While, do this, while this is happening, do this, and you're closing the statement with done. Okay, so the condition while the condition is true, it goes into loop. If not, while loop, the condition is true, it goes into loop, then stops. If condition becomes, condition is not true anymore, okay. I don't like this here, so I'm going to put a note. It while condition is true, it loops until the condition is not true anymore. Okay, let me copy this. So let's do. Uh, so what is this gonna be? While read x, okay, and then do um, echo uh, $x, echo $x, done. Okay, so what did I did here earlier? Earlier we did here, right? Read x. Okay, let me clear this here. Echo $x, right? So I told you it stays in the memory here. So let's see. Let me clear this. Read x. So I'm gonna put down I am enjoying Linux course, okay? And I'll hit enter. So what happened is, then I have to run the command on my own here, echo echo $x. So if I have to bring this here, automate this here, if I don't want it to run this here, I have to run this command and put a semicolon there, and then run this command here, and then run this semicolon here. So instead of doing that, you have to add do and a semicolon again, and done. So what happens here is syntax do error syntax unexpected token do. Read x. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so yeah, basically this is how you run the command prompt. Okay, so if you want to put the same thing in the let's see here, read x. Okay, so let's see here. While this oh, okay, you know what, my bad. I have to type here. Let me clear this again. So I'm typing read X, okay? So let's see. This is a Linux course, and for you to do it, you do echo $X, right? So what you could do is while read X, okay, then do semicolon, then do and do echo $X and done. Okay, now it's working. So I'm going to put in here that what is going to read X is uh, I am enjoying Linux course, okay, and hit enter. So what it did is it did this command here while read. It has written all this here and it's done here. Okay, so done is supposed to close it, but it's not doing it. So let's take a look here. While statement ah, value of let me run this and see what happens. Why is it not quitting after one? What the heck? Okay, while true, do this here, do echo. Yeah, it's going into infinite loop here, so give me 1 second. While true. It's not working the way I was thinking it was work. Let's see here. While read x do echo $x done. Read x. So the loop command we saw yesterday, it says this is a while loop. It's based on counter. Echo, enter a number, read data, count 1. Okay. I'll get back to this here why this is not working. But let's move on here, okay? So let me give you an example how we could read the file and we could create an input file. Okay, so there are two types of static read. One is a static and another one is hello. Go ahead. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Anywho, let's put this in a file. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to clear this and I'm going to say CP template, and then what I'm going to do is do $x done. Let me show you something here. let's do while read x, okay, and then semicolon, do echo dollar, I'm gonna let's see here, I'm gonna read one file here, okay, so okay, I'm gonna create a file server.txt. In here I'm going to type google.com bbcnews.com cnn.com let's see PROTech.com. I'm going to try to use this using a while loop. While read x, okay, while read x, do echo $x, okay, and done. Okay, so if I hit enter, probably nothing happens here, but for me to read the file here, I'm going to give you the input file there. I'm giving the input file server.txt. So it read that file. This is one of the way you could read this file. Yeah, let me try using test. Yeah. So you could use a while loop to read a list here. So in this example, we have google.com, BBC, and all this as a example here. So let me put this here in that. Example of a static input okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to put what I'm going to do is read file dot now I'm going to do cp template read file dot dot sh, okay, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do vi read file dot sh.
Motion detected at your back door.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is this is a this is to loop using a while loop to read file. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the same thing in here. Control Z. Oh god. While loop to read the file. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is basically I'm gonna put this in the file here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is while read x do echo $x and done. Okay, so what happens here is, let me run this here, read file.sh. Okay, this is a line and it will be displayed. Ooh, there's a redirect here. We need a read file. So I'm gonna put in the name of the file here, server.txt, right? Let me do this here. Done. Okay, yeah, this is where I wanted to come here. Okay, so what we are doing is we are hard coding the file here in this example here, right? Example of a static input, while read x do this, and then we did this here, right? So we did the same thing in here. So this is an example in example static example here, but we put this into the file name read.sh here. Okay, so now you want to create a file here that not only reads, we want to create a file that reads dynamically. So let me clear this. Dynamically means whatever file you want to do it should read that file. So what I'm gonna do is let's see here. So I'm gonna do cp read file.sh to read file dy.sh. Okay, and I'm gonna do vi read file.dy.sh. Okay, in here what I'm gonna do here is Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna take the input at the command prompt here, dollar. I'm gonna type the file name here. Okay, if you want to, I want to explain this. Where is this input coming here from? What is this? What is this greater than sign, less than sign means? Anybody?
Sir, it would mean that the content of the file is going as an input to maybe X.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Then you go back up here, and what you have learned earlier in basic commands here. So in here I mentioned you the redirector, right? A redirector. Okay, here when you're doing cat and the file name, this is actually what you're doing is 0 and then input file. The file is going in there. So these are the examples how you use the input file here. But if you're putting in this in the script here, I'll be using this example here. You just cannot leave the file blank in there. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm doing after this is done is gonna do the input file here. Okay, so I could put 0 also here. There are 3 redirectors we're gonna learn. 0, 1, 2. 0 is standard input, and greater than sign is standard output. And then 2 greater than sign, it will catch the errors. So for 1 and 0, you don't have to put 1 or 0 in front of the input director. If it was running in back in early 80s, late 80s and early 90s, you may have to put 0 and then less than or greater than sign, okay? But now you don't have to. Okay, I'm gonna execute out of this. Now let's see what's gonna happen here is I'm gonna run this file. And it says ambiguous redirector. So what you have to do is you have to give the name of the file when you're running it. Okay, so let me clear this. Line 11, ambiguous. Why is it saying ambiguous? So read X. echo while read. Let me does this matter? Okay, read. Let me see here, cat $x, okay, and here dollar file. Okay, line ambiguous redirector. No such file or directory. So it's working here. So I'm going to say $file1, $5, right? So this should be the input here at the, oh God, it's not working. Basic simple loop for x in 1 do echo hi, refer the variable loop, read a file line by line reliably while a read loop, read while. Okay, read while loop, preserve the word in a line. So this part is working because we are giving the static information here, right? The list of servers we have. Okay, so let's see here. Read file $sh. At one point we took input from the command line, right? We took the input from the command line. Read num1 command calculation script variable script. New York is and let me try this here. Oh God. Maybe I need to put a semicolon here. Do $x line 11 $file syntax. Okay, I think I got it here. Instead of $file, what if I type $1 there? Okay. Now it's working. Um, let me type yeah, it's working now. So I shouldn't be putting. I think I showed you $1, $2, right? So this it is taking at the CLI $1, $2, $3. How many you want to put in? You have to do a $1 or $2 if you want to put two files next. If it's taking two input, then you put $2 here. So finally we got it to work. So I'm gonna do VI. Okay, this is what you do. Okay, so I'm gonna paste this here. So this is a static input and this is a dynamic input. We are supplying the name of the file within the script here. Over here we are supplying the name of the file at the command prompt here, okay? While loop to enter here. Example of a static input, okay, in no dynamic input. Dynamic input and while loop to read the file from so it's giving you the error here. Then you type server dot txt. So it's reading when you supply it at the. Okay, so what you could do is, if you're doing this here, you should put this in the file. To run this file, okay? This is what you do. And you run this file, it's reading the file here. So now this, it doesn't have to read this file here. We could have any other file here. So let's copy this file here to server2.txt. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is cat. Then if I do cat server2, it has this many here, right? And if I do read file.dynamic. Let me capture this file name here. So this is a dynamic. Dynamic means the file is changing here. Whenever, whatever file you want to do, you're gonna give that file here. So that, and then I'm gonna give server 2.txt. So it's reading the file here. Okay, now that we have the file here, let's modify to use this as to ping servers. Okay. So how we gonna do this? You just go in here into this file. Can somebody tell me what do I change here? What should I be able to change here? To put in the ping command. Where? Okay, that's a little hard. So you put ping here. Ping -c. I'm going to ping only one time. Each server. I'm going to save and exit. Okay, I'm going to save and exit. And I'm going to clear this. And it's going to go ahead and ping so many times. Do you see that? It pinged all these servers here once. It pinged google.com, and then it pinged cnn.com, and it pinged zmprotech.com, ping packet 1, receive 1, and okay, why is it giving the output here? Let me clear this and server 2.sh. So I have so many. I have CNN, Google, and Yahoo. Okay, and what else we have there? Facebook.com, IBM.com, and what else we have is Tesla.com. Okay, so you got the idea. If you could ping one or two, you could ping thousands. Okay. Why is this necessary here? When you have about when you're working with network team, they have like so many servers going down. Then you could run this command here, okay? Facebook, IBM, Tesla, GoDaddy. All right, so let's see if this is gonna work. I'm going to run this same command here. I'm going to supply the input file. Okay, and it is working. And I don't know why it's giving the error at the last time. Ping GoDaddy.com ping status and usage ping let me clear this and let me run this here. So it is running everything. usage ping sys. It's telling you how we could use the ping command here. Ping 6 count -1 count interval preload modify. Okay, so let's, if you are getting error like that, ping using bash script. Okay, so you have to, you just don't sit there and you have to check okay, what is this guy doing? Ping -c ping -c1. Okay, let's see here. Oh, echo found host date into background. For ping in, so this one is using a for loop, and well, anyway, either you could use a for loop or just a loop, while loop here. But anyway, I'll figure out what the error message is. If not, then the information is good enough here. You don't need to worry about the output you're getting here. Okay. So everybody with me so far here, right? I'm gonna give a 2-minute pause and open for questions.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
Actually, sir, I got a little distracted. My son was crying. So last time, when I left you, when you gave $1 as an input or the server txt as an input, it was giving an error, and suddenly this is working. I'm sorry, sir. I had to go for 2 minutes, so I missed out.
So you want to know what I fixed here?
Yes, sir. How did it got fixed?
Yeah. So in here, so you have to put $1 here. I was putting $file. So $1. I think I mentioned here earlier. When you put $1 here, it's expecting a input at the command
Okay.
prompt.
Yes, sir.
Let's see here.
But with $file, sir, we were passing the content of the file to this as an input.
Then $file it becomes the variable. Then it's looking for the variable. Then
Okay.
okay, so okay here. So this will $123. It's a command line input. Is except the CLI input here. So here, if you give anything other than $123 or whatever, it's not going to accept that.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so you have to use $1.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Sure. Okay, so let's see. So this is working, okay? $1. So now what I'm gonna do is we're gonna use IFS. I think we talked about IFS, right? So let's go in here and do Control F, IFS, or delimiter. So do you guys still remember what a delimiter is? Delimiter is it uses a delimiter or a special character to separate a text. Okay, so you know how you have like this column 1, it has a column 1 comma, column 2 comma, and column 3 comma, or a question mark or whatever. So what it does, it will separate the content in there. So we'll take a look how it works. So this topic is called IFS. IFS. So this is internal field separator and delimiter. Okay, and delimiter examples. Okay, so the example of a delimiter is uh, uh, so the example of a delimiter is semicolon, colon, minus sign, uh, comma, and a period, I think, yeah. So let's see here, how am I going to do this? So I'm going to, let me create a file name, ls, here, right? Let me clear, and I'm going to create a file touch. No, I'm going to go vi delimit example. Okay, so I'm gonna go in here And when you're working at a job, you will work with a lot of text documents here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a file here which has empt 01 and a semicolon, and then I have 192.168.56. Let's see here. What is the IP address for this box? One 192.168.1.139, and you have a semicolon here, and then you have information that it's running 64 GB of RAM, and semicolon, hard drive is 500 GB, semicolon, and you have RAM is about 8 GB. Okay, and then you got a processor i7. Okay, when you get a text like this is normal in Linux environment because you're getting some text here. So what we're doing is we're just like this. You will get some files like this here. It's hard to read. So what you're going to do is you're going to use this delimiter to separate this file here, okay? So, but in the same time, what we're going to do is separate the file and make it look nice and clean here, okay? So I'm going to show you how we do this here. It's almost similar to this command here, but we are using this inside the file. Okay, so let's see here. Let's write a script. And I'm gonna give a CP template, and I'm gonna give ifs.sh, okay? Okay, so what you do is you put some content in here. This script is running IFS delimiter semicolon here, right? We got semicolon in there. So what? Oh, okay. What is this called? Is also called parsing. Okay, this is parsing the file. It's called parsing the file here. Okay, somebody come up to you and say I need to parse this file. That means they're gonna separate the fields. Okay, so I'm gonna say echo, and then I'm gonna go here, enter a file to parse. Okay, and here we're gonna read file name. Okay, so we're gonna read the file name here, and what I'm going to do is it says echo, and here enter the delimiter. Enter a delimiter to use. Okay, I suppose you could use the delimiter whatever you want here, right? Okay, so I'm gonna just put down here example. Color, semicolon, hyphen, and I'm gonna close this. And I'm gonna say then read again. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say read uh, read dollar uppercase D, and then IFS. You have to declare IFS here. IFS is built-in. IFS is built-in. So this is IFS is built-in and recognizes delimiter. Okay, and then now what we could do is we could write right over here. I'm gonna bound here user input of delimiter choice. Okay, and here so parse means separating of fields. Okay, so now you have to declare this so much here. So now what I'm going to do is while. Now we're going to read while read. Okay, and so before that we're gonna have to let's look at the man pages of read. Okay, so let's see here. Source alias bg bind key sequence hyphen l hyphen p hyphen q hyphen u hyphen r. So I'm gonna use hyphen r. What is it gonna do is remove any it says key sequence, right? So it's gonna say remove any current binding key sequence. Okay, so let me quit this. Okay, we'll come back to this here again. And do. Okay, and what you could do is echo. Then let me see here. What do we have here? Duplicate sessions here. So I'm gonna copy this here. Example file to parse. Okay, and then I'm gonna quit this. So I'm gonna go in here, and first line is so here actually what you're gonna do is go here at the end -r, and then you have what we're doing is now we're gonna give each column here the name here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give each column name host. Okay, host. Then the second column is IP address. The third column is CPU, and the okay, and the fourth column is hard drive, HDD. Fifth column is RAM, and sixth column is a processor. So I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to say echo, and then host name, and after a host name I'm going to give $host. So it will parse that line here and it's going to loop through each of those lines. Echo IP address, and I'm going to say $IP. Okay, and let me just give some space here. Echo, and I have CPU, and I'm going to say $CPU. Echo colon, and I'm going to say hard drive, and then colon.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
So whenever maybe I remember it wrong, but whenever we use a command in echo, aren't we supposed to give backticks like for $host backtick in backtick?
Yes. So what's your question?
So where you said like echo host name, comma, so the $host should be in backtick?
That's not a command.
Oh, okay.
That is a variable.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, good question. RAM, and I say echo processor, and you say $pros. Okay, and I'm gonna give a couple times the space here, echo, and done. Done. here what we could do is you could do $file1. Why we are doing $file here is because we are declaring a read here on the top, extra read. Okay, so do ifs enter a file to parse. Okay, I'm gonna put down this file name. Okay, and I hit enter. Enter a delimiter to use. So we know the delimiter is the semicolon here, right? So I'm gonna put semicolon. There you go. It ran through all these loops here. How many lines we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it clearly parsed all this information for us. Do you see? It went through all these lines here and parsed the line for us. Now here this is just redundant here, like this one like ZMPT1, but in reality it would be a different server name. Okay, and in here it would be different IP and all that. So what is happening here is maybe I could put this into the file here. Give me 1 minute here, I'll end the class. Then, well, no, okay. But you got an idea here, right? I mean, play around with this and see what happens here. Okay, and usually you will get I'll give a built-in example here. Cat slash var log messages. Here, if you want to parse this, let me clear this udf ps-ef ps. Okay, I'll find the system example next week that you could actually use it to parse it. Okay, so but right now use this as a good example for you to practice it. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna end. Please use the chat. If you don't, then it won't be helpful, but I think use the chat to ask any question in the team here. Okay, and yeah, that's about it. I think we still have a couple more days script. Yeah, we have a lot of scripting to do, and after scripting we're gonna do Ansible. Once we get hold of Ansible here, then we'll return to services, provide us DNS and all that. So then we got good. We got a full month of August and September, and then we got so we got 2.5 months now. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff coming in, and make sure you have all this practice and do 2 hours every day. You should be good enough for you. Okay, all right, enough for that.